Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of Invincible Season 1. Now, recently I made a community post about how I was just watching this show recently, and spoilers, but I loved the show so much that I just needed to make a review about it before the second season came out. This show was huge when it first came out, it shook the internet. And I wasn't able to watch it at the time, but I am now, and therefore I am here to make a review. Now, before I get into the positives, I do want to mention the one big negative that I really have for the show, which is that it feels super predictable. Nothing in it really surprised me. And as the show went on, it definitely hindered my enjoyment more and more. I figured out in the second or third episode that Debbie was gonna try to figure out whether Omni-Man really did kill the Guardians of the Globe or not. The other positives of the show still had me really enjoying it. It's just I wasn't watching it really to see what happens next. It was more to see how it happens. And now moving on from that, let's get to some of the positives. The characterization in the show is incredible. From the first episode, you can tell that Omni-Man is an intimidating force and is someone who is not to be messed with and can lie himself out of almost any situation due to his public status. But at the same time, he doesn't want his son to be in pain. Now, of course, things go the other way, but that's not what he truly wants for him. He genuinely cares for him. Or Mark, who is a little awkward, but genuinely has good intentions and just wants to help people and keep everybody safe. Speaking of Mark, I never really bought into his relationship with Amber. It just felt kind of forced, especially when there was a better match for him, in my opinion, with Adam Eve right there most of the time. Which is why I honestly think that later on they're going to go to the route of the comics and have him ditch Amber and get with Adam Eve, which I think would be much better for both of them than what they have going right now. Anyway, unlike that relationship, I think Mark and Nolan's relationship was handled beautifully, as you can really tell that Mark just idolizes his dad and wants to be just like him, and he doesn't think he can live up to that. But then in the final episode, when he finds out that his dad is really a monster, you can feel all the emotion and agony that he's going through as they have to duke it out. Another thing that stood out to me about this show is that it doesn't feel like it wastes your time. Every episode, every fight, every conversation serves a purpose in the greater story. In the second episode, when the alien invasion starts, they don't explain to you who they are, where they're from, why they're here. All you need to know is that they're here and they're causing violence. And that's really all that matters in the grand scheme of things for Mark's story. Now, of course, world building is a lot of fun, and I'm really interested in how they can expand the world of Invincible and all that. But when you're just trying to tell a story, when you waste your time on things like that, it really just bogs down the story with so much extra content. And this show just doesn't do that, and it makes it easier to watch and enjoy. All you need to worry about is Mark and what's going on in his story, in his life. However, sometimes it did kind of veer off into a kind of separate story with the new Guardians of the Globe, and whenever those segments were going on, I definitely lost a bit of interest because those characters weren't nearly as interesting to me as Mark and Amber and Adam Eve and all them. They still ultimately serve a purpose, and I get why they're there. I just think they could have handled the amount of characters and their characterization a bit more, because I don't really have any attachment to any of them. And if we're talking about the Guardians of the Globe, that ending scene in episode 1 is incredible. All the action in the show it really uses the gore to its advantage, and it does feel a bit excessive at times, but it really just enhances the effect that each blow has. You really feel it because of all the guts and blood spewing out, and it just makes it even harder to watch in the last episode as Omni-Man just beats the crap out of his son. I could probably keep going about this show, but that's all I got for you right now. I'll talk about it more when Season 2 comes out, for sure. But for now, with what's out now, I'm gonna give Season 1 a 9 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, this show still has its flaws, but I love it to death anyway. I definitely recommend it, and even if you've already seen it, go watch it again. It's great. I'll definitely be picking up the comic now. Thank you for watching. If you could subscribe and drop a like, I would really appreciate it. I'm still a small channel, just trying to grow, and it helps me keep motivated to make more content. Alright, I will see you guys later.